Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to talk about these two knives from, this is from Ferra Monster, and they are a relatively new company to the scene. As I understand it from them, they have been OEMing for, I think, over 20 years, they said. So they've done probably a bunch of knives that I've handled and owned, perhaps. But they're kind of new to making their own knives, their own brand. And I did show these in a previous video, but I wanted to give them a little more spotlight because they are a new brand, and I think they deserve to get a little more attention. So I wanted to do a little bit more of a deep dive on them, more so than just showing them, giving my thoughts on how I, carried them and whatnot, like in the video the other day. So I wanted to cut some stuff to see how the blades are. I'm not going crazy, but I have some cord, I have paper, and I have a little cardboard box here. We can also kind of get a feel of the M390. It's not going to be very definitive, but it'll give me some information. And then I was thinking I'd take them apart and just show you a look inside at each one, see how they're constructed, if they go back together, center up, all that kind of good stuff. So I just thought that would be interesting. These are the packages, just so you guys can see the packages. The Glideman is this one right here. Bead Blast Titanium with M390 machine satin blade. And then the UrbanGrip is this one here. M390 machine satin blade, bead blasted titanium again with carbon fiber. They don't denote the type of carbon fiber, so I'm not sure what this stuff is. Yeah, I really have no idea, to be honest. So that's unfortunate, but I do like it quite a bit. They had some other colors I didn't really find particularly cool, but I really like this white gray kind of looking one. The other thing I really like about this knife in particular, I didn't mention in that other video, is if you look at the inlay, it's really cool how it's cut all the way around the knife, all the way around the frame lock, essentially. It's very unique. We've definitely seen cool inlays before, but this particular one is really cool how they did that. So that's the UrbanGrip, and it has sort of a Trevor Burger Shiro-y kind of feel. I know that's a weird combination of things, but that's kind of what it feels like to me, and I mean that in a positive way, where this has a Voxnez slash Ferra Forge kind of feel. Again, mean that in a positive way. I really like their designs. They have a third knife that's available on their website right now called the Aurora Rays. I have not tried that one. I don't know if I'll get a chance, but it looks cool. And if I remember correctly, that one kind of gives me a Grimsmo type vibe. So very unique. These are available currently on their website. I do have an affiliate link, and I have a discount code. So you can use the code LeftyEDC, and that'll get you 10% off of your order on the Ferra Monster website. So that's pretty good, 10% off. This knife right here comes in around $208 with that discount. So I think it's like $228, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like $206 or something like that with the code. This one is a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $280, and then you can apply that code, and it gets you somewhere around $250, which I think is great for the materials, the build quality. When people ask what is the build quality like of this knife, I would say it feels like the more higher end stuff you see from Best Tech. So it's possible that they're making the Best Tech premium stuff. Maybe they're making the CMB made knives. I don't know. But it has that feel. It's kind of got some of the hardware kind of reminds me of the Cavill knives, some of their models like the Denka, which is excellently made. The only thing that throws it off a little bit for me is I only see machine satin, and I don't know if that's on purpose because they're just going for something a little bit more affordable, or if they don't do belt satins, which there's plenty of companies out there that just don't do belt satins, or they don't do it in-house, so they don't really do it unless, you know, they're doing an OEM project and somebody's asking for it. But yeah, so let's get into it. I guess we'll do the cutting part, and then we can kind of go into the disassembly. We'll do one at a time. We'll start with the Glideman here. One thing I love about this knife is that I can reverse flick it left-handed. It does not have a weak detent. It's not like strong, but it's easily deployed, no problem. Reverse flick, right-handed, thumb flick, right-handed, no problem. And even if I'm on that lock bar a little bit left-handed, I can reverse flick it. I think a lot of it has to do with that clip being in the location straight up and down. It's getting a little bit of that pressure enough that I can flick it. And the ergonomics on this knife are spectacular. Definitely extremely comfortable. You guys know this is my style, forward finger choil. I don't have it here, but I have a similar design actually. If you look at the Pony Stout that we did, this is the Divo knives. Pony Stout, these are available actually at White Mountain Knives if you're interested, but a little bit smaller knife. But I guess what I'm getting at is you have a forward finger choil, and that's just something I really like. Now this one is all encompassing in the blade. That's not something that I usually like to do. Me and Colin really like a good 50-50 choil, as you can see on this knife here, because that allows you to have a little bit more blade edge where you're cutting off your blade edge here. Here's a larger example. This is the full-size Stout V2. And again, you get that 50-50 choil, so you're keeping a lot of the blade edge. At least that's my theory on that. But anyway, point is, I really like the style, the design overall. It fits. I do like a forward finger choil like this for the reason that it really like grabs your finger and gives you a nice, comfortable feel. And this Poon Spoon is remarkable. They position this perfectly for my hand. My thumb just goes right into this divot. Perfect for a nice cutting grip, or if you're going to go into an index grip, it would work for that as well. Pinch grip, you kind of got to come up here, but yeah, man, I really do like this knife quite a bit. So let's cut some stuff. Paper, start with that. Just, you know, make sure it's sharp, I guess. Feels sharp, that's for sure. It's very sharp. Yeah. Yep. The paper is getting destroyed. Let's grab this cord. Grab one of them, I guess. And, you know, this stuff is not stupid, you know, tough or anything. It's just something I like to do just to see if, you know, we're getting good slice on it. As you can tell, we are. I've tested the front of the edge, the middle of the edge, and now the back of the edge. And as anticipated, the back of the edge is a little bit thicker, but that's pretty normal. And I'm assuming it's going to probably wreak havoc on this cardboard as well. We'll cut it here. I put a label over that just so I could put it on camera without worrying too much. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, you can see there, I still got caught on the choil, even though I'm in the choil. And part of that's because I'm gripping back onto the flipper tab, and it's allowing that opening to show. But, you know, if you're up here, you're never going to get caught in that choil. You're always going to clear it. But, you know, obviously that's just learning your knife. And this thing is great. Yeah, I don't want to just make a million little pieces here, but really, really well done. Good factory edge. I did not cover the full packaging. Let me do that real quick. So there is, hey, this thing is interesting if I remember correctly. First you get this patch, Ferra Monster, crafted for adventure. I don't know where the name Ferra Monster comes from. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, it's like weird, but I think it's cool. I will say I put their link, the affiliate link, on my link tree, and immediately Linktree banned the link. And I appealed it because I'm like, I have a million knife links here. Why are you banning this one? Like, what? They said it went against company guidelines, selling illegal or restricted things or something. So I appealed it, and they denied my appeal, and then they they banned me completely from Linktree. So I had to set up a whole new link app type thing, which I did. It's beacons.ai. Shout out to my boy Ray over at Everyday City Carry for the recommend. But check it out. It's linked in the description, always at the right under the video description. I'll always put a description of the video, and then under that I have like a long line, and then I have my description that I put with everything. And there's a thing that says links, and you can click that to see all of my links. I try to make it easy for you to scroll through there. Some people don't like scrolling through my whole description. They're in both places, but anyway, something about Ferra Monster caught their attention, and I think that's hilarious that the wokety wokes got upset about that. So maintenance. So yeah, they have this little thing in here that says Ferra Monster knives are high performance cutting tools made from the finest materials in the world. To keep your knife in optimal condition, we recommend the following maintenance. Never disassemble the knife unless you know how to reassemble it properly. I love that. Never attempt to sharpen the knife unless you know how to properly and safely, how to do it properly and safely. Before storing your knife, clean it thoroughly with the provided cleaning cloth and make sure it is completely dry. Apply a small amount of oil to the pivot area and blade to prevent rust. If you notice any signs of rust, use a fine-grained semi-chrome polish to remove it. I just thought that was funny that they're like, if you don't know how to sharpen, don't fucking try. If you don't know how to take it apart, don't fucking try. Our knives are made with precision and care and come very sharp out of the box. Before taking the knife out of the packaging, please take the following precautions. Ensure the knife is in the fully closed position before opening it. When opening the knife, hold the spine of the knife against your palm and the blade on the opposite side with nothing in front of it. If your knife has a flipper, use the flipper to open by pressing with your index finger. This will open the knife quickly and with great power. If your knife has a thumb stud, open it by pressing the stud with your thumbnail in a short, rapid movement. Move your thumb forward and upwards to avoid pressing it against the cutting edge. If your knife has another opening mechanism, use both hands to open it and never press your fingers or any other body part against the cutting edge. They didn't mention the front flipper on the UrbanGrip. So I'm supposed to open this with two hands? I love this. Always make sure the blade can swing out freely and is not obstructed by any object or body part. Never open the knife when people or animals are in front of you. Never touch the cutting edge with your fingers or any other body part. Always make sure the knife is in the closed locked position when carrying or transporting it. There's a locked position? That's kind of funny they say closed locked, because technically this is locked. This is closed, not locked. Ferra Monster knife warrants that our knives will be free from defects in materials and workmanship. For our information on our warranty, please consult our website. How awesome is that? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This is my favorite piece of paper ever in a knife box. And then there's the specs right here. Perfect. Sorry, I had to read that because I just thought it was awesome. I love these guys. You get a little cloth in there with the little Ferra Monster logo on it, which is cool. And plastic sleeve for everything. And you get a little, Civivi style little pouch thing. So very cool. Shout out to Ferra Monster. Let's get into disassembling the Glideman here. Obviously, the other box is the same, just for a different knife. So, I'm going to use my Divo knives screwdriver here. This is the V1 sample. We are working on other prototypes, so bear with us. But if you're interested, definitely let me know what you think on it. I haven't gotten too much feedback from my last video where I talked about it. It wasn't on the screwdriver itself. It was about something else, but curious to see if it is something people are interested in, or if they're just not that interested in, is it T6? Nope. Not that interested in a bit driver set. So that was T8 as well. And I don't think the clip screw is going to be holding anything down, or clip screws, I should say. Carry is kind of shallow, but it's not a huge deal. I want to see how they did the captive. I think they did it Kubi style, but we'll see. So you have a lock bar insert, right? Pretty basic stuff there. Your 2 clip screws there. Of course, you know, shallow-ish carry. Is this a tapper? No. Thought something was. Okay. Very nice. Titanium there. And then you have a nice milling pockets in there. And then you have a washer here. Here's our blade. Let us remove that. Okay, this is interesting. So stop pin is external, not external, you know what I'm saying, not internal. We have 5mm 5mm 3/64 bearings. Oh God, just shot out of my hand. Whoops. We might be putting skiffs in this here puppy. I heard it like clicking around, bouncing off of stuff. Oh, I think I see it under a, wow. If that's it, I'm gonna be impressed with my observation skills. Nope, that's not it. Shit. All right, one more look and then I'm gonna go right to skiffs, I think. You'd think it would be right here somewhere, but it is not. So, all right. I will be putting skiffs in here just to not waste more time. Sorry about that, I dropped it. I was kind of excited. Whoa, okay, everything just fell out of here. So, it does confirm, yes, they're using, I said it was like Kubi style. It's just a captive notch. Very nice. Captive notch in here as well. A little design to it. I like the little logo on there too. Very simple. They didn't put the monkey on here like their regular logo, which I think is a good idea. It's interesting that their barrels are brass like this and not just stainless, because you can't see them. So I just find that interesting. But pretty sure it's going to be 5mm and it's going to be 3/64. Yep, 3/64. Doesn't fit there. Obviously fits here. And the pivot, where are you? 5mm. Yeah. So 5mm 3/64. By the way, this is also from skiffworkshop.com. There's a link down below. I'll try to put it in the description, but you can use my code LeftyEDC. That'll get you 10% off your order at Skiff Workshop. You can pick that up. You can pick up the finger bit, which helps you disassemble knives with spinning barrel situations. And of course, you can pick up skiff bearings. Let's see if we have a set of 5mm 3/64. There we go, right there. Probably gonna need to re-up soon at some point, but I think I have a little bit more stashed away. Skiff bearings are amazing. Now, normally I wouldn't put them in a knife like this because honestly, they're not necessary. This knife has good bearings. They're a closed cage, so you don't have an open cage on one side, or ass end as I call it. Now, the benefit is this guy has 15 balls in it, and this guy has probably 10. So if you count those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, maybe 9 even. It's 9 or 10, so you have 15 here. So you're getting at least 10 more ceramic balls total in the knife, possibly 12. That's a big difference. So it could help the action quite a bit. We'll see. So now I have to quickly clean it. I did not mean to go this deep. I was just gonna, kind of strip it and then put it back together. But because I'm putting skiffs in, I kind of want to just give it a little cleaning here as well to be safe. It is a clean knife. I mean, look at that. Nothing came off of there. Try the lock bar. Nothing. I mean, super clean. Clean this guy. All right. Should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully it goes back together just as easily. I get my little toolkit here. Let's grab our KPL. So we're gonna pop our bearing, or our pivot in. Captured pivot, which is cool. So it locks into place like so. Very, very, very nice. Then we need a washer. I like to just put, a little bit of KPL underneath of there so that it doesn't go anywhere. And this side clearly is raised up a little bit, but I'm gonna flip it over and we'll polish that side out as we go, obviously. Let me get some of my fingers here. I did want to clean the detent hole just because I always do that. So I just put a little bit of KPL on it. If you are new to the channel or the knife world, knife pivot lube is, in my opinion, the easiest and best pivot lube to get. It's available everywhere. It works just as well as anything else I've used, if not better. And you can pick it up at knifepivotlube.com and use code LEFTY10 over there. I think Skiff Workshop actually sells it. So if you go to pick up bearings or something, you could just grab some KPL while you're at it, if that's something you want to do. All right, let me put that in there and grab one of my little microfiber Q-tips and get in the detent hole. Just make sure that's clean. And yep, it was clean. Clean the ball. All right, and we're gonna put this on upside down. You can see that track on there. I'm gonna put it the other way. Now you can see the bearings are a little bit smaller than the ones that we had, but that doesn't matter. As long as they fit in the pocket and the pivot size is the same and the thickness is the same, you're good. They don't have to be the same like overall size. It is nice, I guess, but doesn't need to be the case. So let's drop this guy in. I think it goes in like this, right? Is that right? Let me confirm, or is it this way? That kind of makes more sense to me, right? Yeah, lined up over there, okay. We got the KPL there. I think we're good, right? Oh, let me put a little bit of KPL heavy on here. On the detent track is where I want to put it. This stuff is hard for me to control. I need to get a new bottle out. It's a tiny bit, but it should be enough. All right, we're gonna pop this sucker on. Hopefully on the next knife, we won't need to go this deep. Although if the action on this feels way better, then we might. But I do plan to pass these around. I always pass around knives that companies send me. At least 95% of the time, unless it's a repeat knife model or for some random reason I don't, but it's very rare that I don't. So I like to leave them in stock form if I can. In this case, I sort of lost a bearing there, so not much I can do. Let's see, centered. Now see, this is a good sign though that we took the knife apart, put it together, and let's see, a little bit of play. Still feels good. No lash. Tighten it down. Are we off center? No, it looks pretty damn good. Let me make sure these are tight. And I still need to clean the pivot, so I don't want to count our chickens yet or whatever. Yeah, it looks dead down the center on the spine, so let's see if we can still... Ooh. No play, no rock of any kind. Still very droppy. Wow, yeah. Fires out like a cannon. I think it did that before, but really smooth. Yeah, I mean, the only little gripe I was gonna have on this knife is that when I closed it, it kind of felt like something was moving. Like remember I checked if it was tapping? It just felt like something was loose maybe. Now that could have easily been fixed just me taking it apart, but it's also possible, wait. Oh, that's over here. It's also possible that the skiffs did something to correct whatever that is, but it feels fantastic now. So, hells to the, yeah, that's amazing. Make sure this lock bar insert screw, ooh, that was a little loose, so let's see. Sometimes that'll, nope, didn't do much or anything. So, let's take this out again. So, what I didn't do there was clean it yet. And another thing I'm noticing right now, I'm just giving observations as I go. That looks like a Bestech screw. And again, you guys might be aware of this, but Bestech doesn't make their own knives. They use a premium OEM and a budget OEM, basically. Or shop, whatever. And it's possible that these guys are the premium shop, maybe. I don't know. Be cool to find out. Maybe I can. Just kidding. I do want to ask these guys if they will work with anybody, because man, these knives are nice. Might be worth getting prototypes made of something we're working on just to see how they do. So this is a little bit of a process because I like to super glue my knives instead of Loctite them. I kind of test them first. So tighten it down, looks good. Feels good. So it's clean now and it's good to go. So I'm going to take the super glue. Some of you guys are gonna cringe right about now, but this is what I do. So I take super glue and I get a little bit out like that. Damn it, there's a crusty on here that I don't wanna grab with my finger. There we go, get that off of there. All right, let me try that again. So the tooling is not super deep. It's not terrible, but it's not super deep, so it's hard to keep the screw on the driver, so it's easier for me to bring the glue in, but it's hard not to get the glue stuck to it and have it drop the screw like that. So I got a little bit on there, and the way I'm gonna do this is just drop the screw in and then find this and then go for it. Tighten it, check it, make sure it's dropping. Yeah, it felt like I went a little tight. Back off a touch. And that should break in perfectly. It was already pretty tight. Like the glue was curing already. So that's the one downside with glue is, yeah, there's no play. just a little shake, but that's gonna break in because I can tell the way it's falling. Yeah, that's how I like it, honestly. I prefer it not to just want to crush my finger, you know. Oh my God, this is really good, guys. No play. What a sweet knife. So that's the Glideman. I'm gonna set this aside while it cures. Maybe we'll grab it again at the end, just to show you both knives again. But that's the Glideman. Let's look at the UrbanGrip, and hopefully we won't have the same situation. So, UrbanGrip M390 3.6 inch knife. I think it's 3.67 or 7.3. It's very close to 3.75 inches on the blade length. And it's just a really cool, simple design. And I mean that in a good way, simple. Like, it's got this nice little choil here, really comfortable in the hand. No jimping up here except for, you know, right back here, which is fine. I don't need a lot of jimping on a knife like this. It's got a good thickness to the blade stock, so I get a good grip on it. Action on this knife is really nice. This one doesn't quite drop like the other one, but this is more my style. I used to be a big drop guy, but now I like a good shake like that. Like a controlled drop down, so it's not crushing my nail. It's just kind of gliding to it, and then a shake down, and really nice. You can reach around this guy. One thing that they did on this knife that you don't see a lot is they did a great job jimping the flipper tab. Look at that. The jimping goes up and around. That's something I've talked about a lot in my videos. And almost nobody does it. So I really like that they did that. The clip and frame lock design are the same on all their knives, I feel like. If you look at it, basically this, I think it's interchangeable, but not positive. I think the clips are the same. And then they do the same relief cuts, and they kind of keep that all the same. Probably helps them in production somehow. I love the handle design. Look at that, how it kind of bows out a little bit and then comes back down, thins out. They kind of put, I don't know, what would you call that? Along the spine there. I'm not sure. But it looks gorgeous. They did it here as well. Love the inlay, as I stated earlier. So let's cut some stuff with this one real quick. I'm sure this paper is going to be, yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. Let me try to. Hard to, but I mean, whoops. I mean, I was just like, look at that. Just blink, 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 blink. Gotta get into the cut first. Yeah. That is sharp. Get this out of here. Man, I hate trying to pick paper up off of this tray. I don't know why it's like so hard, but it is. Try to get it all in here so I can, whoops, 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 come on. All right, I'll deal with it later, sorry. Here's a little bit of that cord. Just gonna, yeah, I figure. It is a stretchy cord. It was from a thing for my daughter's room that holds stuffed animals. It's meant to have stretch to it, so that's normal that it's doing that. Yeah, that's butter. And cardboard is probably gonna be the same. Easy. That was me just hitting the wrong angle. Yeah, there's tape over this, by the way, so it's not just cardboard. It's cardboard and tape, and it's great. Yeah, nice and sharp. Ah, perfect. I can use this box for the trash. Boom. Okay. All right. So this will give me a chance here to demonstrate another tool I use a lot. This is called Knife Shield. This is also from KPL, the people who make this lubricant. I use the original and the heavy KPL more than anything. The ultralight is useful in some cases, like a slip joint that I need to be easy with on oil, or an OTF or something, but it's, you know, I would just get the 3-pack that has all 3, but you could just get, you know, original and get away with it. But this is Knife Shield, and this will get tape off, tape gunk. So if you look at this, if I have alcohol on this cloth from the Disassembly, I can get a lot of it off with it, but it just takes a little bit of work. And it's only been on there for a second. You know, so usually that'll become impossible to wipe off even with alcohol. But as you can see, that actually did a really good job. Now, let me just, shit, no, kind of screwed myself there. I don't have any more tape stuff. But anyway, this will clean anything off your blade, gunk and grime and shit like that. You just spray it on. I always rub it in. You don't have to do that. And then you take a cloth. There's no time limit or amount of time you need to wait. And then you just kind of rub it in as you're wiping off. And it will take tape residue off like nobody's business. And it actually leaves behind a protective film that helps prevent corrosion, which is cool. So nice and clean and ready to get disassembled here is the UrbanGrip. One knife I want to compare it to for you, or actually a couple. I have the Mini Sweeney here from Berg Blades, and then the knife I was talking about earlier. This is a Trevor Berger custom. This is the custom Urban. So UrbanGrip actually, and this is a custom Urban, and you can see it has some similarities in design. I actually had an XL version of this, and it did not look like this. It looked like that, just bigger. It kind of has a little bit of Vero to it too, I guess, doesn't it? But it does remind me of a Trevor Berger when I look at it. I don't know if it's the flipper tab, not really. I don't know. It just gives me vibes. And I love this knife. It's one of my favorite knives of all time. This one's just a little front flipper, I thought. I don't know. Kind of compared a little bit. So, let us take it apart. We got the T8 again. I'm guessing it's going to be very similar. And I'm hoping not to make this much longer. I'm surprised there's only one more screw. They did have a short backspacer, but it's such a long knife, you'd think they would have another screw along there somewhere for stability, but they do not. And there's no milling, and that's partially because, mostly because there is the inlay. That inlay has titanium all milled out in there to fit in. So it essentially has milling and then carbon fiber instead of titanium in there. Look at the pivot area here where the carbon fiber is cut out. That's really wild. Does the pivot tighten that down or something? No. So it's pretty well done on the inlay, but it's not perfect. You can see a little bit sticking up, but it's damn near perfect. It's really nice. And then here is your blade. This one has a stop pin that travels around the blade more. The other one didn't have that. Now, interesting, this one has brass cage bearings. Let's see what size. These look, I think they're the same size. 5mm 3/64. I'm gonna go ahead and guess. Not 1mm, right? Yeah, 3/64. And again, it's gonna be 5mm, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, it's pretty small though. Almost looks like get this out here. Almost looks like a 3/16 would fit, but that's an American size. So yeah, 5mm. Interesting. So, I mean, it obviously makes sense that they're the same, but it's interesting to me that they have different bearings. So when I said this was a closed cage bearing, this is what I was talking about. These are open cage. I call them an ass-ended cage. You see this side? It's a stamped bearing. So they stamp these out of sheets of brass, I guess. I don't know how it works, but this part is open. And then this front face part is what you'd call closed. If I lose another one, it'd be hilarious. So gunk and shit can build up in this back part, and that's why I don't like these at all. But I am going to put it back together as is. So you can see, I feel like they put it together wrong. A lot of people will put it that way where this open side is facing out. And the reason for that is they want the nice side facing the blade, which is the moving object. I get that. But for me, I want the closed side facing the pocket because that way it protects that closed side or open side and keeps it from getting gunk and shit in there. So I would prefer to put it in like, like this. So I totally almost left out this washer. So I'm gonna put the washer in the way it was. And then I'm going to put this in with the, nope, the other way. Jeez, Kev. My brain's not working tonight. Sorry about that. Also, it has the same captive pivot. I guess I should show you that. Ooh, it's like stuck in there. Ooh, I felt the inlay maybe pop out a little bit. Is that what happened? So this is the one downside with carbon fiber like this. Is you're really relying on a thin piece of carbon fiber to be your captive area. We learned our lesson with one of our knives on this, and it can really be tricky because that piece can break. It looks like it did actually here. See that little missing piece down there? I think that piece broke off. I'm not positive, but I don't know where it is, if it just broke off or if I'm crazy, but that's flat across. And that part is chipped off down there. So that's what can happen with carbon fiber when it's your captive part, you know? So it looks like it's still working. Let's see. Yeah, I can't rotate. Oh, no, see it popped out. It's just a very thin shelf. I would want a thicker shelf. You know, you got to make the knife slightly thicker, but it's safer, honestly, because people are going to go to tighten their knife and then they can't keep that side from spinning is what happens. All right, I'll shut up, put the knife back together. You guys don't want to hear my lecture all night. Whew, all right. Put this back on. Pop this on. This side is also not milled out. I guess it has carbon fiber on it too, so that makes sense. Pop all this on. It doesn't seem to pop there. Was that? I don't know. And we will tighten this. All T8 again, which is nice. And we have a screw back here. So we are, looks like centered. No play there. Pops. Not feeling any play there. Ooh, nice clickety. Oh, it had a little bit more room to tighten. See. I think it's got a really nice click. You hear that? Man, it's just like really solid. No stick. I think it feels amazing. Trying to clean off any schmutz on the lock tang, but it's not sticking, so I'm just surprised how good the action is. Now it's not doing the click though. So is there something in there? Let's try it left-handed. Interesting. It's just interesting that the click went away. But like it sounded really good, but it also sounded a bit strange. So, okay. All right, so I am going to remove this now and clean it. Do the same thing I did on the other one. Grab the cloth with alcohol. It's still got a little bit of alcohol on it, so it should be enough to clean this up. Cool thing about the bit driver I have here, the screwdriver prototype, it's again, it's a Divo knives product, but it was designed by O.Show, Oleg in the Ukraine. Great dude. And it has this hidden spot for another bit, or you can utilize them as two separate bit drivers if you wanted to. But I keep a T6 in here, and then you can just tighten this back down, and it's good to go as a one-way driver. And then we added a magnet in here and here so that it'll click to the base. Right now, I don't think there is one in this V1, or it's very weak, but it makes it so it's not easy to knock over. But when you pick it off, it comes off without taking the whole base with it. As long as the base has bits in it, has enough weight. But really cool driver in my opinion. And this spins, and this spins, which is pretty cool too. So clean that. Let me clean this part. That one had some, I don't know if it was red Loctite or something. So I just kind of pushed and the magnet in here isn't that strong in this one either. I had a V2 prototype and it was fantastic, but I sent it to an OEM to make prototypes. So, okay. Feels good. Yep, looks good. I just want to make sure again, because I'm passing them around. I don't want them to be off at all. And I could, of course, put 5mm 3/64 bearings in here as well. And clearly, I mean, we'll look at that Glideman again in a second, but clearly it does a little bit of good, which is always good. Let's see if did I get that on there? It's hard to tell. Oh, it's on there. Might have got it on my finger, I was thinking. So let's just drive this in. I always screw backwards to hit the threads. Tighten it. No play. See if I went too far. Maybe a touch too far. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can't really back off now. It's centered. Front flip is good. I mean, the action's great, so I'm not too worried about that. Not dropping right away, because I think it will, given enough break-in, meaning this is what I do if that happens, because you can't really readjust with super glue. It's the one downside to super glue, is you got to make your choice quickly. If you're going to back off the screw or tighten it more, you got to do it real fast. But I find over tightening it is better than going loose. So what I'll do is I'll flick it a few times and test it again. As you can see, it looks like it's pretty good now. And if that doesn't do it, then I'll do this. I'll just kind of, and you can put a little bit of oil on the detent ball. I didn't even do that this time. That would help a lot. But just doing that, yep. should help break it in just that little bit more. Because usually, yeah, no play. Usually it's a brand new knife when I'm doing this stuff. So any type of break-in helps a lot. But looks like that reverted a little bit. Let me see. Do I have... Yep. So I grab one of my little Q-tips. I'll show you my other idea for that. If you go just a touch too tight. Now, if you go too tight, you know, there's not much you can do. But, you know, you can redo it. Just make sure you use a very small amount of super glue. That's all I tell people, because it's all you need is a tiny bit. If you use too much, yes, it's freaking super glue. What do you think's gonna happen? But it's just like Loctite. If you put a ton of Loctite in there and let it cure, same thing's gonna happen to you. So, oh yeah, that made it really smooth. Holy cow. And you can even put a little bit of pressure on the lock bar as you're moving it up and down, and that'll help wear the detent track in. And what I do is I let it go to where the ball starts to clear. Watch. Does that. But don't let it jump all the way up onto the blade tang, and just don't open the knife all the way. And then go that far and then close it. Go that far, then close it. I try to let go of the lock bar when I'm going back over so I don't maybe pop the lock bar or detent ball out or whatever. But you can do this to wear that track in a little bit. Right? And then I'll close it before I ever open it all the way. Because what I did was I put some of that oil onto the lock bar. By doing what I did, kind of going almost open, you end up putting just a tiny bit of oil on the tang, or you could essentially. I don't think I got a little bit on there. And then you just clean it off so that it doesn't transfer. And now, oh yeah, it's so smooth. Still not like dropping unless I, swing it a little bit, but it's fantastic. Look at that. It's hard to argue with, and it's so smooth. Dead nut centered. Yeah, these knives are excellent. I got to give Ferra Monster huge credit for very quality knives. And kind of coming out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't know they existed. I'd been hearing rumblings about them, and from some buddies in a group chat I'm in. Actually, it's the chat for the pass-around group I have, which is where these are going after. Although a bunch of those guys have checked these out already. So definitely, check out other videos on YouTube about these knives. But a few of the guys in there were like, Ferra Monster, I got this Ferra Monster, or whatever. And so, I was like, what is that? And they told me it's a newer brand and whatever. So I reached out to them, and they were kind enough to send me these two to check out. I actually only asked for the UrbanGrip, and they decided to throw in this Glideman. And I got to tell you, I actually like this Glideman better. Now that I just put skips in it, it feels even better too. This thing feels amazing now. I mean, this possibly is like a replacement for an UrbanEDC F5.5 for some people. I mean, yeah, it's not a liner lock, but it's got that full tie handle going on. It's got the M390 steel. It's excellent at reverse flicking. It's got a great choil where the F5.5 has sort of a small choil. Great ergos here. I mean, excellent action. Honestly, yeah, I think this would be a great replacement for the F5.5 for people. Size-wise, did I cut myself? Size-wise, it's about the same. And price-wise, it's cheaper, right? $208 or $206, I think I said. That sounds cheaper to me than a F5.5, but I could be wrong. So, I mean, we're talking bank vault lockup, drops like it's hot, clicks, dead nut center. Man, this thing is beauty. Hell yeah, dude. So the Glideman is my favorite out of the two for many reasons. The choil, the blade shape, the overall ergonomics, the size, right? The deployment, those are all things that I prefer on a knife versus larger drop point or spear point. Mostly the size for me. Now this is an excellent knife. If you like this size knife, I think you're gonna love this knife. So I don't have anything bad to say about this knife. Just personally, I like smaller knives. And this knife is just incredible. That's kind of my feel on it. And skiffs, holy cow, man. I mean, I liked it before, but I don't know if I want to pass this around. We'll see. Because like I said, a bunch of those guys have tried these already. Maybe nobody will want to check it out and I'll get to keep it. I'm just kidding. I love it. Yeah. So if you want to pick one of these up, check out Ferra Monster. I have the link down below. Again, discount code is LeftyEDC. That'll get you 10% off as well. And I think I've rambled long enough, but I really wanted to spotlight these two because it's a new brand, and I think new brands deserve some recognition. New brands deserve some airtime because they are trying to get their name out there, trying to get their brands out there. And when a company is doing good things like this and they're newer, it's one of my favorite things is showing those knives off because, you know, a lot of you guys might not have heard of this brand like I didn't until 2 weeks ago. So it's nice to kind of show people new stuff. And when I can recommend the hell out of it, that makes it so much better. Oh my God, this thing is silly. I guess, you know, I wouldn't have said, had you asked me before the video, I wouldn't have said you need to upgrade this to skiffs. And I really don't think it needs it, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with the knife without skiffs. But man, did this thing go to another level. It's possible that just cleaning it out helped, but I gotta tell you guys, having those 10 or 12 extra ceramic balls in there, it does a lot. I mean, the smoothness you get from that versus, think about it, you're dispersing the weight on these ceramic balls, right? And you have these gaps between each one, and look how thin this thing is, right? So when you have that where it's just 15 balls right close to each other, it just makes it that much, just makes it that much smoother. And I promise you, this pivot has not moved. That super glue is cured in there. This thing is absolute perfection. Holy shit. That click is money too. Fuck yeah. All right. I love you guys. Shout out to Ferra Monster. Thank you for supporting the channel by sending these. Thank you for supporting the pass around group by sending these. Thank you for making some dope ass knives. And thank all you guys for making it to almost an hour. Holy cow, Kev. I love you. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.